this was a thing. So there could possibly be, and you know more about this than I know about it, but Kirk Cousins and Sean
Mm,
McVay. I had no idea there was any connection there because when I saw that, I was like,
yeah.
Kirk Cousins and Sean McVay, like what? How that even go together? But you was kind of breaking it down from them being on the Commanders together, and I truly had no idea. But so seeing all that Kirk Cousins has gone through, right?
Mhm.
You would welcome Kirk Cousins, there in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would be. Yeah, in
yeah,
LA, yeah, with the Rams. I
yeah,
would
yeah,
be comfortable with that. I would be comfortable with it. I mean, all things considered, right? You hope that there would be no need for him to have to play. You want to make sure that Matt Stafford is healthy and he's able to, finish out the entire
yeah,
season, right?
yeah,
But if, situations, we all know this is football, anything can happen. And if he has to miss a game or two because of the history with Kirk and Sean, with their time with the Commanders. And
yeah,
remember now, this was during the time where Kirk Cousins he had taken over from RG3,
hmm,
and it really catapulted his career as a
yeah,
professional quarterback.
true,
And then even with McVay, simultaneously, it put him on the map as well. And shortly after that season, he became the head coach for the Rams. I
hmm,
think there's definitely a chemistry there, the way that Kirk is able to adapt to not just Sean's play, but his style of coaching. And
yeah,
yeah, I'm watching some interviews with Sean McVay today at the owners conference, and he's basically petitioning for Kirk to call the Rams. It's to let
okay,
them see to see if he's interested in coming on board. So with that being said, if Sean is signing off on it and saying, "Hey, look, he would
yeah,
like
yeah,
to bring Kirk in," then I'm good with that because it shows me
yeah,
that Sean believes that he can coach him up. He can understand, come in and get in line with the playbook.
yeah.
That's all I need to know.
This is the thing that I'm interested to know. You know, back then when Kirk Cousins when he was there with the Commanders, he was really playing really well, taking
Hmm.
over for RG3. Um, and, since bunks around a couple teams. So, Kit, I guess there is familiarity there with the playbook, or because he was in that system. Is it a similar system, or that Sean McVay was running in Washington that he's running right now in LA? And I guess since there is some familiarity, I guess Kirk is smart enough and intuitive enough to kind of pick up the offense like really quickly. If this were to happen, he could pick it up faster than anybody else. I assume.
I don't think it has anything to do with his acumen or his ability to pick it up better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't think the system is the same. It has definitely evolved since that time. But I
Yeah.
think it's just the style, right? McVay's style and his methodology, the way he actually calls plays. I
Yeah.
think that part is um, there's some comfortability there with Kirk being able to come in and pick it up.
Yeah.
Uh, we saw what happened a couple of years ago, his first year with the Falcons. That playbook, he wasn't able to pick that up, and
Right.
it was documented in the quarterback in Netflix quarterback series where he said it like he doesn't feel like he's understanding what is being asked of him on the plays, and it took a while. In this situation, I think because uh, again of McVay's style and the way that he puts his plays together, whatever that may be, like history showed that Kirk was adaptable to it, and he was
Right.
able to play at a high level working
Yeah.
with McVay,
Yeah.
and so it lends me to believe that Sean thinks that it's similar enough to where he feels Kirk can come back in after almost 10 years and pick it back up again.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to get Kirk Cousins back in there because I for sure thought he was he was trash and he was done. I didn't know because
Well,
I know he's still out there, right?
mhm.
And people are, coming off the Achilles the previous year, and leaving the Vikings, going to Atlanta, kind of struggling there. But I guess when you look at it from an offensive coordinator standpoint, he again really wasn't in a system per se that could insinuate his strengths or what he has. So if McVay has this how he calls the plays, like you say, um, can really play up to his strengths, I guess he could even revive his career if something would have happened to to Matthew Stafford. Do
I
you
wouldn't
think?
go that
Okay,
far.
okay, okay.
No.
Here's the question. Okay. Let me ask you this:
All right.
if if Kirk Cousins, if Matthew Stafford was to get hurt, okay, so he get that
Yeah.
back injury, something happened, second game in the season, can Kirk Cousins come in and you guys are on a Super Bowl trajectory? Can he come in and take y'all? Do you believe, far in the playoffs? Because y'all expecting the Super Bowl at this point. So,
Yeah.
can he take you? You feel confident he could do that?
I hate to talk about these type of hypotheticals because I don't want to speak something like that into into existence. I really don't.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I
I
got
I, I do think that Kirk Cousins can pull a Nick Foles,
you.
right?
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that he can do that only because of the confidence that Sean seems to have in him and the track
yeah,
record, albeit 10, like almost 10 years ago. I get it. That's a lot of time and space between. And
yeah,
yes, Kurt has bounced around, but it's not as if Kurt has been an absolute scrub, right? He
yeah. They
played
got yeah,
decent ball. And even going
yeah,
into last year, he was playing good ball. Like
yeah, yeah,
Atlanta was on a heater at the end of the season,
yeah.
right? They were
They
playing
were
good
balling.
with him. They were balling with him after Penix
Yeah,
went out because now Kurt started to get comfortable with the offense.
yeah.
He got comfortable
Hmm.
with the scheme, and you can see he was dishing and he was distributing the ball, getting it to Pitts, getting it to Drake London. Bijan was
Hmm.
doing his thing, and they were winning games. They beat us,
Right, right, right. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think he can come in limited time and he can win, I think, crucial games for us if need be.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
That would
We'll
be,
see.
yeah,
I hope,
that'd
like I
be good.
said, don't want it to ever come to that,
I got
right?
you. I got you. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel like he would be a good safety net in case something
yeah,
does,
yeah,
go off for a
yeah,
couple of weeks.
yeah, yeah. So sticking on this QB bandwagon,
Hmm.
um, the Cleveland Browns, man,
Hmm.
they say they are excited for Deshaun Watson to come back. Now, Deshaun Watson hadn't really played football in what? How many years has it been? Uh,
Feels like it's like
4,
two-years,
3, 3,
two,
2,
three.
3.
I
Yeah,
think
two,
it's
three
been
years.
two and a half, yeah,
Two.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and you know, this is just my opinion. I don't need people in the comments to beat me up about this. This is just my opinion by myself. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm putting that disclaimer out there right now.
Hmm.
Deshaun Watson isn't the answer, man. I don't know what Cleveland doing over there. He's not the answer. You know, I don't think Shador Sanders to me right now is not the answer. I don't think they have the answer on their team right now. But for the owner to prop up and say he's excited about Deshaun Watson coming back, who hadn't played in about 2.5 years, I don't know what you expect. Now, before all of this went down, and this is what happens with players when you have legal issues, you have troubles, you have things going on. I think he's married now at this point. After all of that, um, you know, how do you even? How can you come back? I hadn't seen a player. Maybe a player that has sat out for 2.5 years and has come back to really do something in the. I'm talking like make a splash. I hadn't seen. I can't. There's no memory. I can't recollect that right now of a player that can. So I don't know what they expect from Deshaun Watson, but I really hear me on this. He was really good. He was great. He was getting to that point where he was looking like he was going to be a real franchise type quarterback. But after all of this happened, then a couple injuries and stuff that he had, it's not the same. I think he needs to just hang it up. I put him
So
in the same. I put him in the same category as Colin Kaepernick at this point.
gotcha. So I mean, come on, Links. I mean, this one should hit a little bit closer to home for you, all right? How how long was Michael Vick in prison before he got picked up by the Eagles?
Yeah, he was in
Right,
there a little bit. Yeah,
right,
yeah. That's a
right,
good. That's a good
right,
point. That's a good point.
right,
Yeah,
right. And then
that's a good
y'all
point.
end up giving him another $100 million contract,
That
right?
is true. That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it could
Okay,
happen.
yeah.
It could
That's a
happen.
good one.
I mean, Deshaun Watson is still in his prime. Um, I'm not saying that he's Michael Vick, right? I want to put
Right.
that out there. I'm not saying that he's Michael Vick, no. But Deshaun Watson is I think a really good quarterback. And I still go back to his last year with the Texans. He put up some really good statistical numbers on an atrocious team. The team was horrible, but he put up some really
Yeah.
good numbers. You could go ahead and you could look that up. You come to Cleveland, and it seems like every quarterback goes to Cleveland to die. Like no quarterback over the past, I don't know however many years, Baker Mayfield had somewhat of a halfway decent, stint there, but it's just the ecosystem is just horrible.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that he's still in his prime athletically and from an age perspective, and I think that he can still produce if put in a situation to succeed. So yeah, the
Yeah.
2 years, I know that you can have a little bit of anxiety around that. That's a long time to
Yeah.
be away from the game and not, seeing any sort of game speed, all that stuff. I get that. But,
Yeah.
Vic did it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember there's another quarterback, he was a little bit older in his career than both Vic and Deshaun Watson, Randall Cunningham, when he ended up
Brandon
with the
Cunningham. Yeah.
Vikings. I think he
Yeah.
actually
Yep.
retired for like a
Yeah. That's
season or
true.
two
Yep.
and came back and took him to the NFC Championship game. So
Yep.
it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking this up right now.
Hmm.
So when Michael Vick came out of prison, he was 29 years old.
Yeah,
Right? He was
yeah,
29. How
yeah.
old? Let me see. How old is Deshaun
How old's
Watson?
Watson?
Let's see. Uh, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is 30 years old.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay.
yeah, that's similar. That's they right there.
Not too bad.
Um,
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
close.
that's not bad. So it's right there. Now you said it. Deshaun Watson is not Michael Vick,
No,
right? And
no.
Deshaun Watson is not
But
Randall Cunningham.
but to be fair, when Michael Vick
Yeah,
came back at 29, he
yeah.
wasn't Michael Vick.
He wasn't Michael Vick. He wasn't
He
Michael
wasn't
Vick.
Michael
Yeah, he
Vick.
was.
He wasn't as
He had to be.
elusive and
Yeah,
as fast, right? He had to start playing
right.
more with his head,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
did a
yeah,
really good job of doing that.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I look. Never say never. Never say
Right.
never. If 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 Watson, if they are, look and check this out.
Yeah.
They spend so much money on this dude. They got to do something. I
Yes.
mean, they got to
That's
get
why
something.
the owner has to say what he's saying. He got to
Yeah,
get something
he
back,
get
right?
he got to
Because
get
all of
something,
that,
man.
it was all guaranteed money, unprecedented, right?
Guaranteed.
So
Yeah,
he's
straight up.
got to say something. They got to play him.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
he's back and he's healthy, they got to
yeah,
play him. Otherwise, that
yeah.
means that 200 whatever plus $1 million contract just wasted.
It's a
So yeah,
waste.
he's gonna start. If he's healthy, he's
Yeah,
gonna start.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, so in your division, the 49ers,
Hmm.
they say, man, look, NFL say, you guys, this is going to be, a game in Australia. The 49ers say, man, look, man, we don't want, we don't want to go to play in Australia. It's too far. We got family. You got to take your family. You got all the equipment. You got pay all these people. We
Yeah.
it's not the right field. It's not y'all try y'all best to do. This is the beginning of the season. This is just too much to start the season off with. We need to be at home. We need to be in our facility, and we really don't want to go to Australia and play. The first game of the NFL season in Australia. These guys are in your division, and I mean they had a pretty good season last year with all barring all the injuries and stuff they have. I mean, how can you blame them? You can't blame them. They going over there. They got all these injuries, people coming back off of injuries and stuff. They don't need to be traveling all the way to Australia, man. Give these dudes a break. A break,
I,
man.
I mean, I don't hear the other team whining and crying about it, right? You hear anything from the other
Yeah,
team that they're playing, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
mean, look, yeah, they look, and they playing the Rams, by the way, in that game. But
Yeah,
you take it in stride. I mean, look, I read the comment. To be fair, I read the
right.
comment,
Yeah,
and I get where Kyle Shanahan is coming from. In a game like this, where you gotta fly, you gotta play in
play
Australia,
across
and
the
I
world
right, and so basically, you they're a day ahead, a whole day
Yeah,
ahead of you,
all
right?
day. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you lose a day,
yeah.
okay? You lose a day, you play the game, and then you come back, and it's like you get that day back, I guess. It's gonna be
Mm,
kind of weird.
that
And
is weird.
for it to be, I think the problem that he has with it primarily is the fact that it's week one.
Yeah.
Typically, when you have a game like that, you want that to be in the middle of the season so that you can get a bye after the game,
Right, 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 right.
right?
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is how is that going to play out coming back from a game like that from that distance with that kind of time lapse and then have to
Hmm.
be prepared for week two to play.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so that's
Yeah,
going to be interesting. So I get like I think he has a legitimate gripe on it.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but look, it's scheduled. I think it's
yeah.
good for the sport, and he did say that it's good for the sport. It's good for the league, right? To you're basically you're showcasing the brand, you're getting notoriety, publicity, stuff like that. That's good, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be taxing on the teams.
yeah,
And
yeah.
49ers over the past couple of years, they haven't done as much traveling as the Rams internationally,
Hmm.
so it may be a leg up. The Rams, I think they may be a little bit prepared. I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah,
But for the most
yeah,
part, we've had a lot more international trips than them over the past 5, 6 seasons. So we'll
yeah.
see how it goes.
And yeah, that is true. And I think with you guys, because didn't y'all do like a back to back kind of, y'all were international for 2 straight weeks or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And you had a couple of teams
Yeah,
that have done that, but yeah, the Rams have been, and this is even going all the way back to the St. Louis Ram days, right? Like we've been, I
right.
think during the last couple of seasons in St. Louis, um, we were playing every year in London, and this is before it was a
Yeah,
thing, right? We were
right,
one of the
right.
first teams to pioneer that,
Mm.
largely because Shad Khan was in the running to be the owner for the team at that time, and I think he was really pushing to move a team over there as well. So that's what the motivation for it was back at that point. But even after that, moving to LA, there was still a lot of international movement and games going on, and so I think McVay and Snead, they have a regimen in place where
Right.
they basically have a set plan on how they move now with these international games. And man,
Yeah.
we've been pretty successful in those games the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all definitely have it down pat. What how to handle that and move
Yeah,
around logistics and all that kind of stuff like that. I know teams are getting into it. Like you say, it's good for the NFL. It's good for international scenes. You think they'll ever go to the Bahamas, man? Can the Bahamas handle that?
I would
Um,
I that would be great. They would great, but
that
you know what? No, no, let's not go there because I don't have nothing pleasant to say about that. I don't, and I'm trying to get in trouble. I'm not
Just
trying to
leave
get
that
in
one
trouble.
alone. We'll table
Let's
that.
leave that
We'll table
alone.
that.
Let's leave that alone. Hey,
All
hey,
right, all
and
right.
play well,
Yeah.
and play well, and play well, right? Where they can play.
Oh
What
man.
facility?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got you, man. I
Oh
got you.
man,
I
nah,
got
I ain't
you.
trying to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. So all right, man. So uh we can jump back on tomorrow. I know we got a
Flag.
couple scenarios.
What about the flag
Oh,
football? Right?
yes, 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 yes. We
Yeah,
talked about the flag football
yeah,
last week, and you sent me the article today
yeah.
with the NFL, launching their NFL flag football league. So that leads down the path of what we were
Hmm.
saying with NFL players um trying
Well,
to get
well,
to
try.
play. But
Yes,
what
yeah.
you
They definitely trying because I mean, even I think about a year and a half ago when they was launching this promotional tour or campaign,
right?
sorry,
Yeah,
officially from the NFL about flag football. They had Justin Jefferson, I think, at the press conference, and he was saying that he wanted to play. Okay, so and
yeah,
you had a lot of NFL players petitioning, hey, they want to try to get involved in this thing.
hmm,
And as we spoke last week, where we had some people call us out online saying that we was being disrespectful to some of these NFL players about how we was comparing them to the flag football leaguers and saying that NFL players they're not ready for that. Like they can't
right,
just jump on a flag football team and and
right,
and 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 compete with these guys.
right, right.
And the evidence was it was shown with the game with the USA team against Brady and Burrow and that bunch, and they got lit up
Hmm.
by the USA
Yep,
team.
yep,
So what you're gonna have is you're gonna need NFL or ex NFL players who are still in top shape to
yeah,
make this team. Like those are the guys I think are gonna be the ones to make a push to try to get on the team. And
yeah,
right after we made that statement, you had RG3 come out and say, they said that they want to bring him on the team, and it was an official
yeah,
announcement by Team USA for RG3 to
yeah,
join. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I mean, so that bears some fruit there, and then on top of that, now you have the NFL partnering with Tiger Woods to formulate a new NFL flag football league. Now, I still need
yep,
to read through the details and kind of get all the particulars on that, but that's a big thing. And that goes back to
yep.
what we were saying about how the NFL they want their hands in this, man. Like there's too
Absolutely.
much. This is a lot of money. It's going to be very lucrative. You got to gonna have a lot of sponsorship, a
Yep.
boatload of participation. Now, any and everyone, no matter how
Anyone.
tall you are, how short you are, your gender, it doesn't matter. You are
Right.
now applicable to be a part of football in some way, shape, or form, whether it's tackle or flag. And the NFL, they
Yeah.
want all of it. They want
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. And they're gonna get it. And they're
Yeah,
gonna
they're
get
gonna
it.
get it
You
too.
know, the one thing that I'm disappointed about though is you got these guys, man, who've been playing flag football their whole lives, and they built themselves up to
Yeah.
the level of being the Olympic talent. Now they're gonna get overshadowed. I mean, they're not even gonna. A lot of these guys probably won't. If the NFL guys come in and start taking over certain positions, then you're gonna have guys that are capable of winning for the USA not having the opportunity to play.
I don't see it that way, because I
Okay.
think if the NFL does go ahead and they start this league, those same guys that you're
Yeah.
talking about, they're going to be participants in that league. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And so I
Okay.
and I don't know how deep this league is going to be, how many teams it's going to be, but it's going to start off with a certain number and it's going to expand. But
Right. Right.
what's going
Right.
to happen though is that they're going to promote it. They be in the NFL, and as they promote
Mm-hmm.
it, those flag football players, they're going to get more notoriety. They're going to start
Mm-hmm.
to be the face of that particular league, which is going to make it that much more difficult for an NFL player to insert themselves in any sort of Olympic capacity going forward.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. So I guess it's a win-win kind of situation for
Yeah,
those guys. If you look at it like that, that's a good way to look at it. They will get that publicity, and the NFL is going to push it all the way
yep,
till the end. So,
yep,
and then you start looking at, truly getting paid and contracts and sponsorships and gambling and all that, that comes with it. That's going to take it to a whole nother level. So
Oh
yeah,
boy, I didn't even think about the gambling aspect. That, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah, that's going
Yeah,
down. That's going
yeah,
down. You know, yeah. It's such a fine line nowadays with the gambling stuff, because you truly don't know, like, who's being paid off, who's being bought, who's shaving, who's, you want to watch the sport as a pure sport, and I know there's a lot of that, but then you got refs involved, you got coaches involved, you got players involved, and you just don't know at any given moment, what, like, was this intentional, or and guys could
yeah.
make it look, they can make it look real, and some guys can't do it, but it's just, and it's on all levels, man. It's on all
Yeah.
levels. You look at it, it's in high school, it's in colleges, it's in pro level, and yeah, what can you say? It's already started.
And what's so funny, what's not helping right now is you know, the issue the NFL is having right now with the referees, um, with the whole labor dispute that they're having right now. So it looks like
That's
as
right.
if the CBA talks with the refs with their union has broken down, and the NFL is now looking at potential replacement refs going into next season because
Yeah.
the deadline is coming up to get the CBA done, and it doesn't look like they're going to meet the deadline, and so they got to start putting in some contingencies. That's going to
Yeah.
open up a Pandora's box, right? When though if replacement refs have to come in, and this will be refs from college and high school,
Right.
calls going
Right.
to get missed, calls are going to get messed
Yeah.
up, and you don't
Yeah.
know what the motives are. There's going to be a lot more speculation. It's going to be messy. It's going to be
Yeah.
messy if that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, definitely going to be messy. But I think, if it does happen like that, um, we all know only one or two things can happen. These guys are so bad that they forget that collective bargaining agreement done, like, immediately, or they could be serviceable, and they say, well, we're going to hold this off and let these guys run with it throughout the season. So,
Well, Well, they better hope it's the latter because the formers would actually happen in 2012 when they had the
that is true.
same situation.
Same
And
shit. Yep.
those
Yep.
replacement refs were so bad, they was like, look, come, bring the real
Yeah.
refs back in.
Yeah.
To where when the
Yeah.
refs came back, you had people giving them the crowd was giving them standing ovations. That's how bad it was to the refs.
Yeah.
Crazy man.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Crazy.
Oh boy, yeah, 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 man. So all right, well, hey, we'll see. We'll talk about some more stuff tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll get Doc on here. We got a good couple scenarios to talk about. So um, I'll have a couple for you.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All right,
All
man.
right, man. Later.
All right, later.